Well, good morning, guys. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to another trading session. Well, it is Friday, so the last day of the week. Yeah, charts have been doing some all-time highs, especially on. Let me just check here for the combine. Yeah, especially on ES. NQ is falling a little bit behind, but I guess it's just a matter of time before NQ just delivers a new all-time high as well. So basically, that's what I'm actually expecting today for an all-time high on NQ, and probably a new all-time high on ES as well. So the game plan here should be waiting for some manipulation to the downside, because if you look into the 15-minute here on ES, it's pretty clear that we have some AMD happening here. As you can see, Asia gave us the accumulation phase. London manipulated to the downside. There we go, and we should have some distribution to the downside. So this is my main bias, my main vision for today's price action. So I believe we're just accumulating during Asia, we manipulated during London, and we should distribute since we have some relative equal highs here on ES. We have all-time highs as our major buy-side liquidity point, which is previous day's high as well. So right now, what I'm expecting is probably a drive lower right at the open. This fair value gap here should hold for my narrative. So this 15-minute here should hold, and we should probably get a retest here. So 15-minute fair value gap. So this one should hold here for our bullish narrative to be somehow correct. I will take this out just to make things a little bit more clearer, and take out this green box here as well. So the 15 minutes, it's in between 8:30 and midnight open. We will have at about 10 o'clock in the morning, we will have read for the news. So I will probably not touch anything before the news driver, unless we have a clear setup inside a macro. So something like this could eventually happen as well. Oh, let me just, I was just checking NQ, and yeah, NQ just displays to the upside. Took all those relative equal highs. And yeah, micro NQ did not take the high for about, let me just check here, 2 handles. Oh, that's really crazy on NQ. Probably the continuous contract made a new all-time high. Let me just check it right quickly. No, it didn't. It fell short as well. Yeah, curious to see. But let's get straight back into ES and see what we can expect from today's price action. So far, let me just put this on the 1 minute. Yeah, so far price kind of displays to the downside, so it opened kind of bearish. That's what I was expecting, honestly, because I was talking to you about a manipulation. I was waiting for some kind of a manipulation here. So it's kind of happening. Let's see if it will go further down. probably below 830. That would be great. But let's just see. Let's wait and see what this has to offer us. It was kind of strange, this opening, since NQ just drove higher while ES was one-sided to the downside. So this was kind of an odd opening. And whenever you have indices doing exactly the opposite, you should be careful with those types of environments, because it can transform your session into something that's low probability. So keep that in mind. But let's wait and see. So far, NQ it's trying to go a little bit lower, probably. I don't know. Let me check NQ. Let me just put this the way I can see charts, because on the right corner of my monitor, things are a bit clustier, so it's not enough space for so many charts right now. I guess every trader struggles with the chart positioning and with the space that the monitors have to display all the data that we want. I now understand how some traders use about 2 to 3 monitors. It's kind of a regular thing now. So we still have some relative equal lows here on the regular trading hours. Those would be interesting to see being purged. 6585. Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind here something like this to happen. Let me just check how this could eventually look on the electronic trading hours. Yeah, this could be something to take in mind, because we have these lows right here, which are the pre-open lows. It would be nice to see some sell side being purged before a head up. But yeah, sometimes the market is extremely bullish and does not give us the manipulation lower. So let's wait. I'm looking at NQ, and NQ looks a bit heavier than ES. Was not quite of it was not quite part of my plan for NQ to take out those eyes the way it did. I was expecting a continuous move to the upside eventually, but it took out those highs with a one-sided candle, with a 1 minute candle. It was kind of aggressive opening on NQ. So far, the 15-minute fair value gap is holding. So if this holds, and NQ starts to reverse as well, I believe we should go higher one-sided. But here comes the manipulation lower, below 830, like I was telling you guys about in the first minutes of the stream. Let's see if it will attack this relative equal low. I will push it a little bit more to my right here. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, this would be interesting to see. Some minutes more of manipulation to the downside. And then inside a macro, something like this should happen. This would be interesting to see, honestly. I don't know if you go that lower, but it makes some sense because we would have taken out regular trading hours, regular trading hours, relative equal lows, and at the same time we would take out a dirty low as well, which marks a good point of sell side liquidity. So let's see. Let's see if the charts will draw something like this. Yeah, so far a heavy opening. There we go. Displacing lower. Going for those relative equal lows on a regular trading hours. Let's just check here. There we go. We can go a little bit further down. That would be acceptable as well. Let me just check MNQ here on the regular trading hours as well. So yeah, it has a lot of relative equal lows here on the regular trading hours as well. We can go a little bit further down here. Yeah, 24,000 would be acceptable. Let me see what ES is doing right now. So regular trading hours, sell side liquidity has been touched, not purged. I would like to see it a little bit lower. And eventually after it, I would like to see some measure of a breaker or an inversion type of fair value gap to present in between 950 to 1010. That would be great to see. Yeah, so far I didn't mark the 950 open. So 950 right here is this odd candle here. So 950 open. As you can see, the openings are quite closer, are quite close to each other, which can also mark some sort of a not a bad day, but a day without any big movements. Whenever you have all the openings inside a small range, it usually stands for a low ranging day. So expect it to be a low ranging day. It's Friday as well, so I assume that no big movements will happen on today's price action. I thought about, thank God it's Friday, the retrace setup. Well, thank God it's Friday, or TJ YF can eventually happen as well. But I've been noticing that the majority of times it happens on a NYPM session base. So I don't believe we will get it on the New York AM session. If the majority of buy side liquidity has been taken prior to the NYPM session, then eventually we could aim for some sort of a retracement inside the PM session, but I don't believe it will happen right now. So at this point, we have some SMT here in between ES and Q. ES drove back to 8:30 open, so near the opens. NQ is pushing to the upside as well. So this is some sort of an SMT here on the lower time frames, on the 1 minute. And you can see it as well on the 15-minute, the 1 hour as well. So SMTs usually are, for those who don't know, SMTs are usually, how should I say it? I'm liking the words to explain it honestly. Yeah, you can confirm. You usually can confirm SMT if there's a remarkable displacement right after the SMT occurs. So this could eventually be the manipulation leg that we were expecting. If price does not return here, would assume that we are bullish and we will eventually drive to the upside. We got the SMT, we got displacement, eventually confirming the SMT, but I would rather see some form of fair value gap here being inverted or a breaker being formed. But right now, I don't see anything that would get my eye on. So let's see if it will go for another run, take out these lows, and then inside the macro form a reversal type of setup, just like a breaker or an inversion or value gap. That's what I would like to see, honestly. Let's give it some more time. We will probably not engage with the markets prior to the news driver, prior to 10 a.m. So because every time I try to engage with the market prior to news, I usually get stopped out. I don't know why. Maybe my timing is flawed. Maybe my stop loss is flawed. But yeah, the last time I did it, it was back in July, I think. The later days of July. Yeah, I got slippage. So I was programming a stop loss for 150 bucks, I think, and ended up losing about 400. So I got slippage. That's why I tend to avoid news, especially on environments where you clearly see that there's still not a good liquidity type of environment. You can see a lot of volume imbalances still. So whenever price action is just presenting itself like this with small little candles and a lot of volume imbalances, yeah, that's the best market conditions to present some slippage. It's not quite common on futures, but it still happens. Well, so far, NQ has been adding to the upside. ES kind of got retained here below the opens, below 8:30 open, 9:30 open, and NQ is probably trying to push price a little bit above and to the upside. Let's see if we get another move lower. That would be interesting. I would rather prefer a move lower before heading to the upside than eventually heading to the upside from here, because at this point I see no setup. let's wait a bit more. We still have 30 minutes before 10 a.m. news. So that would be unfortunate if the model presents itself prior to the news, and eventually the news brings us the move that we want. So it would mean that we won't probably participate on that move, but yeah, that's something that I have to accept, since one of my patterns of trading uses always ending on losses, or yeah, or being stopped out just to see the price move to my targets after being stopped out. So yeah, not the best, not the best choice for me to still continuing to trade news. That's why I ended those types of trades. So ES is trying another, once again, another shot to the upside. Let me just check the ranges of these candles. Yeah, 8 handles, so not much of a range here. This is a 2-handle candle. Yeah, but things are quite not correlated. While ES is trying to push to the upside, NQ is driving lower. So far, not liking how price um is not behaving in the same type of movements. It's kind of annoying to see. Yeah, so far we have our first fair value gap here. So I believe this is really the first one. Yeah, we have some implied ones, but I honestly don't use them. Whenever you have a candle in between wicks, you can measure 50% of that wick. Example here and here. And if you take those to 50%, you have your implied fib. But I don't really use them. So this one here is actually the first presented fair value gap on ES. Kind of messy right now, my chart. I don't like to have many things on my chart, but sometimes, especially when things are all close together, it tends to be a little bit more messy. Yeah, price trying to hold here inside the open. So 9:30 open, 8:30 open, midnight open. So price is now bouncing in between those opens, with the first presented fair value gap acting as a line of defense. So far we have some sort of order block here, and price is trying to respect this order block. Same on NQ. We would need some closure above the order block just to consider it But so far, nothing. I guess at this point, everybody is still waiting for 10 a.m. news to deliver. Let's wait. Let's wait and see if price gives us another attempt to go lower. It would make a bit of sense, because at this point I can see a lot of people trying to short this, and if price comes a little bit lower, more people will try to short, so more short sellers will engage, and at some point it will reverse on them and probably end up with their stop loss right here. But at this point, I don't know. I need to see a little bit more. So right now, price is kind of stuck. Nothing to do right now. Just waiting and watching. Just waiting and watching, which is the most important part of a trader's job. So watching and waiting. So we are already inside a macro. I will take this out from here just to make things a little bit clearer. Well, ES is, it's trying to get away from these areas. Yeah. But as you can see, price is wicking a lot here. Not liking how when price delivers with a lot of wicks. It's not my cup of tea when it comes to price action. I like to see price action being clean and not delivering like it is now. Yeah, nice push here from NQ as well. Yes, pushing higher as well. So it's really trying to get away from all this congested area here. So as you can see, price kind of respected the 15-minute fair value gap, because if we look into this 15-minute so far, it's a tiny one. It's not much, but it tried to close above, but the reaction right away was to get above it. And right now we have the run. Yeah, this is what I was fearing, is that we will probably miss the move, because yeah, it will happen during the news. So at this point, we have a bullish fair value gap here. We have these relative equal highs right above us, and all-time high as well. So in normal conditions, if there was no news, see, price not giving as much to work with some sort of retracement. So I will not engage with this trade prior to news, as I told you. I will wait for the news to deliver because what I've been experienced whenever I try to open something is that or price will just put me at break even if I'm already inside a trade, or it will just kill my stop loss just to. This is what I've been experiencing whenever I try to engage with price before the news drivers. Yeah, price is leaving some flat candles here. Let's just see if it will go straight to the target or if it will just retrace a bit and then if I was inside the trade, I would not been stopped out, but I don't know. At some point, I believe slippage can happen, and now I'm facing some PTSD from slippage, so that's why. So yes, it's still working that midnight open and the fair value gap here. Let me just check in Q. In Q already worked out the fair value gap here. I will wait a bit more. Yeah, NQ is trying to push a little bit higher. Not quite the reaction that I would expect here to happen. So far, we have a one body candle closing inside this fair value gap. Let me just switch once again to regular trading hours just to see. Yeah, NQ is trying to to move away. Yes, might do the same here, but it took some minutes here, 10 minutes, 10 o'clock. So it's been 5 minutes here, and yes, not moving, not reacting from this fair value gap as I would like to see it. Yeah, once again, NQ trying to move a little bit higher. Yes, it's just not liking how ES is behaving here. Let me just switch here and see what's happening on the 2 minutes. Now we're talking. Yeah. So at this point, these relative equal highs are taken. The only thing that's left is all-time high as previous day high and buy-side liquidity points. So another fair value gap here. This one should be treated as support as well, or left open. If this one is left open, that would be perfect. So let me just mark the manipulation leg. So it's about this one here. So yeah, minus 1.5 standard deviation stands for all-time highs here. It's a perfect match in confluence with the standard deviation and previous day high or all-time highs. At this point, yes, it's just running here. So nice read. Once again, a nice read of the market. Was expecting something a bit lower here, but that served us well because we had some SMT with NQ, which we identified. And as soon as we dropped lower here, it came for 9:30 to the tick. It then retraced the midnight open. It kind of, yeah, took some time here. And I was waiting for things to cool off a little bit, but then it's displaced higher. So rejection here. And for those who are trading, this could be a spot to pyramid some of the entries, some of this long entry, because we still have all-time highs here. We still have all-time highs on NQ to take as well. So at this point, I think that's quite logical for price to drive itself to all-time highs. It would be strange if price just turns back here. That would be some really odd price action. And that would probably made me take the turn off the charts because I'm not expecting for price to go that low. Some harsh reaction here as soon as we took out relative equal highs. At this point, if I was inside the trade, I would probably been stopped at break even because I would have protected my position. Yeah, odd behavior so far. At this point, I would have been stopped at break even if I was inside the straight. And not right now we are losing bullish PD raise. This one right here. Let's see if we lose this one as well. If we lose this one as well, well, this could trigger probably a move back inside the range, or an attack to London lows. Yeah, displacement lower. We have an SMT here with NQ. So far we have a breaker as well here, a bearish one. So we'll take this fair value gap out. This one is the bearish breaker. And now price is back inside the cluster, these clusters of opens. The midnight open, 9:30 open, 8:30 open. Yeah, I'm glad I did not take this long here. I was not liking how price just came down here, did not respect the fair value gap here. It retraced back heavily, and yeah, it took some time to go off. And honestly, whenever I see these draws so close to my entry, I usually don't take them. So price now displacing lower. Nice displacement here. But we are back inside the range, back inside midnight open. If you look into the 15-minute time frame, the chart is now a completely mess, especially on NQ. So yeah, there's nothing we can do right now, because at this point I was pointing to an AMD where Asia kind of accumulated, London manipulated lower, and I was expecting some sort of distribution higher. And yeah, we tried to distribute higher, but we failed, came back inside the range. And what can happen now? Nobody knows. So price now stuck once again inside the cluster of of openings. We have midnight open, 9:30 open, and 8:30 open. It tried to go below the first presented fair value gap, but was not able. At this point on NQ, we have an inversion of the last fair value gap. I will put these ones a little bit more to my right. And yeah, at this point, I can see price leaving all-time highs probably for later, and now probably displacing lower because we still have a lot of trendline liquidity here down below. I don't know. At this point, things are a bit harder to read. It would be a clean move, but it would be, I would say, too easy of a move here. That's why I was kind of suspicious about the move to the upside. So price came down, it retraced perfectly inside the breaker and is now trying to head lower once again. But if you look into NQ doesn't want it, doesn't want the same. NQ seems to want higher prices. I believe there's a huge magnet right at all-time highs where price will gravitate. So at this point on ES, midnight open, 8:30 open, and 9:30 open is holding the price. I'm just trying to figure out why price did this. Because it's kind of hard to comprehend it on ES. Why? Why does displacement lower? Well, on NQ, it seems a little bit more plausible because it came for a fair value gap. This one right here. Yeah. And it just touched the bottom of it and boom to the upside, just like ES is doing now. So yeah. NQ is a better option right now to play because yeah, ES is doing nothing. Yeah, we have an inverted breaker here, which can mark the support on price now. But yeah, it's kind of hard to trust price action now since we had an idea and that idea was kind of distorted with this leg to the downside. But we are running, and at this point all-time highs has been hit on NQ. So I don't think that there's much to do right now. Major sell side liquidity, buy side liquidity point has been reached on NQ. We are about 6 handles away from it on ES, so I don't think it's worth it to risk anything because of 6 handles of potential profit. I don't think that's reasonable. I don't know. But yeah, at this point, this would be the setup with your stop below midnight open and with your target at all-time highs. But since NQ already took all-time highs, we can now start to do some ugly price action. That's why it's kind of hard to trust price action now. Yeah, NQ did a nasty manipulation here, leaving everybody behind. We all knew that our bias was at all-time highs, but the way price just manipulated everybody and tried to go for their stops. It's kind of a mesmerizing job, honestly. If you look at NQ here, MNQ, so yeah, all-time highs. All-time highs were somehow somewhere here. We opened this place lower, this place higher. This was the news event here. Then we started to move right higher, displaced lower once again, and then displaced higher once again until all-time high. So it was kind of a messy job, honestly, not clean at all. And yeah, now what am I expecting? If I'm expecting poor price action because it's Friday, because all-time highs have been hit on NQ. We are 6 handles away from hitting it on ES. So there's not much I'm expecting from price right now. I will just leave this here. The first one we would have been stopped out here at break even. This would be the second try to go for longs. Yeah, the first try was something like this. So I had, yeah, I had it here. And my stop loss was right below the first presented fair value gap. And even that was not enough to stay safe. So this one would have been a break-even trade because it formed a new high. It would have taken down some relative equal highs here. So I would have moved my stop to break even here, and some minutes, 2 or 3 minutes after, I would have been stopped out. And at this point, yeah, I'm not I'm not expecting it to hold, honestly. That's why I'm not pushing any buttons. Because right now I honestly expect an ugly price action. Let me just take a peek here on the Dow Jones. Damn. Yeah, this is some ugly price action as well. I don't know if any of you guys trade the Dow, but I don't touch it honestly. It makes some great runs, okay. But yeah, it's not my cup of tea, honestly. Look at this. Ugly price action, ugly price action, ugly one, ugly one. Yeah, not my cup of tea. See, and ES is still hanging in there, trying to get some idea of where it should go. It's trying to decide itself. So yeah, looking back once again to the 15 minutes, you can see that things have gone a bit better for NQ, but now it's yes, it's time to say that we will have some ugly price action. It's just a barcode for the last couple of hours, honestly. See, price is trying to do some damage now. As I was telling you, I was not expecting this to hold. That's why I did not take this trade. Because right now I'm expecting poor price action, or eventually, since we already took all-time highs on NQ, um, we might focus a little bit on these lows here before heading to all-time highs. So yeah, in terms of price action, things have been a little bit challenging. Because if you look into higher time frames, just like the 1 minute, let me just check the daily. Yeah, these last couple of days have been green candles only on ES, but the way the market delivers has not been quite clean. It's been delivering in a very oddly way. I guess that's quite common. Whenever you close the month of August, you will have about a 1 to 2 weeks time window before things just start to engage as they used to. So we are now in the second week uh, post August. So I believe things will get a little bit better in the next couple of weeks. But the way price is working at all time highs, I believe all time highs is one of the hardest things to trade because you have nothing on the left side of your chart and you just have to guess whenever price will eventually stop or when it will eventually um, keep going higher. And that's not easy. That's not easy at all, especially to people who are starting to trade. It seems like price is not trying to get out of this accumulation and run a bit higher since we have buy side liquidity as previous day high and all time highs here right above us. Just some miserable six handles right next to us. But ES is, I guess ES is just trying to hold for NQ. It's giving some time for NQ to shine right now, since it delivered pretty aggressively to all time highs. Yeah, at this point, I would say that the reading of price action was pretty good. The anticipation of the moves were quite on spot as well, despite despite um despite I was expecting a little bit lower here, just to purge and not to form some new relative equal lows. But yeah, that was acceptable because after it, we formed some form of a SMT in between NQ and ES, so the delivery was quite good. There was no entry though, but yeah. Um, and we took some relative equal highs here, just like expected. And now the second part of the move should happen, which is a grab for this buy side liquidity. But yeah, if we look in the first minutes of the stream, if you go back, I talked about this. I talked about this on ES, but it applies to ES, both on ES and NQ. So Asia range, where we are just accumulating up and down, up and down, up and down. Then we had the London manipulation. And then we were expecting some form of distribution to the upside. So this was what I anticipated right in the first minutes of the stream, especially on ES. If you look into ES, it's a bit more clearer. If you look here, so Asia accumulation here. This is just a recap from the first minutes of the stream, where I was talking about AMD, and AMD is really what helps me the most to draw my bias and a distribution higher. So this was what I expecting. This was what I was expecting in this New York AM session, but as you can see here, price action did not deliver as I wanted. It really came aggressively to the upside, but then aggressively to the downside, aggressively once again to the upside, and then it's now mumbling around here. It will probably continue mumbling around here, just like this. I don't know, but yeah, I still believe that we will have a distribution higher, or it can go just like this. I don't know, and that's why I was not interested in something like a thank God it's Friday setup as a retrace lower on New York AM session. That's why I did not engage with anything that would be a short. I was expecting higher price action. It kind of delivered on NQ, but did not deliver on ES. And yeah, if we if only if we take all-time highs or buy-side liquidity here on ES, then I would eventually consider for NYPM a move lower as a thank God it's Friday setup where we can eventually target London lows, all this liquidity here left behind. That would be the only occasion where yeah, okay, I will consider a thank God it's Friday setup. But yeah, not on a New York AM session just like this. So not a push here in price, but as you can see, there's no momentum because NQ already did what it was programmed to do. So now, yes, it's just relaxing and taking a pit stop, I believe. What's it? So yeah, tell me, guys, if you took any trades today, if you were able to catch anything. Um, I wasn't able to catch anything, honestly. It was not that clear for me. It's been a while since I opened any type of position, but yeah, it's just like that. If I have an opportunity, I will engage. If I don't, I I better stay break even than to lose money. Let's see how price is just trying to generate more liquidity here. As I was telling you, I was not expecting this one to hold. It will probably come back to midnight open and these cluster of opens. And yeah, price will eventually rest here for the rest of the New York AM session. It will probably do something like that. Yeah, I guess the what's left from the stream will be a boring stream. We have about 30 minutes to go. But yeah, I believe there's nothing that will happen. It's Friday. I think the PM session will deliver better, especially on ES. I don't believe we will deliver to anything inside a PM session, inside the AM session. Sorry. I will just look for something to happen after 11 because yeah, usually the moves after 11 whenever there's nothing good in between 9:30 to 11, usually the moves after 11 tend to be a little bit better. So I'll take this one out here, putting things a little bit more cleaner here. So yeah, this was the 950 macro, which yeah, it didn't deliver anything. It might deliver this move lower. I believe this was the 950 macro or some silver bullet or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, nothing special. Let's see, we are approaching 1050 macro, so 4 minutes. 4 minutes before 850 950 macro. I mean 1050 macro. just give me a second. I'm back, guys. Yeah, as I was saying, I will wait for 11 and especially the 1050 macro, which usually tends to be a little bit better in terms of um, delivery whenever you have a session like this. So we are entering the 1050 macro in about 3 minutes. But as you can see, price left a lot of relative equal lows. And whenever you have a bullish idea, you don't want to see those relative equal lows nearby your entry or whenever wherever you you are planning to do your trade. So these relative equal lows can be used as drawn liquidity later, especially when we take out these highs, since price has been acting this way. Damn, this coffee is hot. But yeah, guys, nothing so far. Hey, Lena Hearts 21, how you doing? I'm fine. I'm just tape reading the market, but I'm fine. What about you? So there he comes, a little bit more of a push to the upside. But just look at how far it went just to accumulate for, yeah, we were here for about 27 minutes, accumulating here, accumulating, just to reach for about 7 handles, which is, I don't think this is reasonable, but yeah, sometimes price action just acts like this, and we just have to learn how to navigate it. Seems like ES is now trying to push. We are starting the 1050 macro, which usually is an induced movement in price. Damn, this coffee is really hot. I don't know. I don't know why, but see price coming down once again. That's why I don't like when price just starts some form of a run before taking out relative equal lows in this case. And Q is one-sided completely. It's it's slowly climbing up. It's like creeping to the upside. But yes, it's kind of stuck here. Really didn't like how it behaved. And that's kind of unfortunate because I came in with a clear read on price action. Things developed quite well on NQ, but yeah, until 1050, it was kind of ugly price action. 1015. But yeah, this September month so far has been quite challenging on price action. And as a trader, we need to control ourselves in times like this, not to engage with the market just to fulfill our needs to make some profits. We just have to wait and engage in something that you will identify without any certain without any uncertainty. That's your model. And whenever you have something like this, well, things are not that clear anymore. So you have to be patient and wait and accept the fact that probably you will not engage with the market because it's it's been a tricky market. And all-time highs for me, especially for me, all-time highs is always that hard price action for me. I have some I struggle a bit uh, on how to try it on how to trade all-time highs. I really struggle a bit. ICT usually says that whenever we are in all-time highs, we we only should look for longs until they do not work anymore. But sometimes it feels like buying the tops, and yeah, that still that retail mentality that everybody has programmed in itself. So right now, this would be our second entry if I had taken this trade. And so far, this is better looking, and it's now driving price on a better way to the upside. But honestly, these lows here, I was kind of suspicious about them. So now we are two handles away, three handles away from all-time high. So this must be a non-challenging work for yes. So Lena, you're asking me about my trading stream. Yeah, it's been quite funny, honestly. I'm just here to keep myself motivated and yet just to keep myself. I mean, responsible for whatever I'm doing, and that's my main objective. So the stream is it's always in second place. I'm not those guys that will try to build up a stream and make thousands of followers and transform a stream into a somehow a revenue. No, that's not my main objective right now. I'm just using the stream as a commitment to myself. So yeah, let's see if we have a another run here, another move to the upside. So will this be the beginning of the distribution to the upside that we were expecting since the beginning of the stream? Well, if this comes down once again to break even, that would be terrible, but logical as well because it has been doing something like this, something like that since the beginning. There we go. Yeah, let's see if price really does hit all-time highs here. Kind of a frustrating morning, honestly, calm but frustrating morning since yeah, we know we knew since the beginning where price was heading to, but it didn't give us much more of a it didn't give us any type of entry that I would look to and say, oh, this is my model. This is everything I need to engage. Yeah, it never presented itself for me. So now we are heading to 11 o'clock in the morning. So we still have 10 minutes more inside a macro. And looking at things, looking at things, we can eventually expect price to move a little bit higher since we still have buy side liquidity here to be taken. And honestly, I'm kind of curious to see what happens after we take all-time highs on both indices, on NQ and ES. Hmm. Price retracing hard now. So post 11 price action is entering the room. Let's just see if it will just grab this liquidity here on this volume imbalance. I mean, not grab liquidity, but rebalance this volume imbalance and then head to the upside, or if we will somehow retrace now and leaving all-time highs behind for a couple of for 1.25 handles. That would be very funny to if something like that happens. So price ready really heading lower here. once again, our long position would not fulfill the major TP. There we go. See, this is really really odd behavior from price action. Back inside the range. See, it left all-time highs for about 1.25 handles, which is absurd. And it's starting to come down once again. Really strange. I knew I was not able to trust the market somehow, and I knew some trouble would come if I would have trusted the market. So right now I'm trying to figure out if we will continue lower or if price will just wait here for something. Yeah, but ES is not giving me anything. In terms of standard deviations, we can see that we we are still away from 1.5. So we could have another run to the upside here. It would be acceptable to have that run. But at this time I cannot engage in anything. We are in a deep premium right now. Price has not um purged any sell side that I would like to be purged before heading to the upside. So it's kind of a no-no for me. I have been hurt too many times to know that there are sometimes to engage in the market, and yeah, there are sometimes that we should not, and this is one of them where we should just uh, hang and wait until something more clear happens. See, remember when I told you that there were some relative equal lows left behind? Yeah, price will target them as soon as they can, as soon as it can. So well, at this point, there is a change in state of delivery. There is a market structure shift here as well. Some major buy side liquidity points have been worked out here. But whenever we see displacement followed by a climb higher, it means that this was just a liquidity purge and we will probably head and continue higher. So let's just see how this will end. But yeah, there's nothing we can do. Another session that was just a price action read. Those sessions are not the most entertainment ones. But yeah, sometimes we we just have to accept that we will not be able to trade every single day or every single week, or I don't know. There's been folks that don't trade for a month, and I would do the same if I have a good month. Yeah, well, just enjoy life and take take some action with your profits instead of trying to be here every day and yeah, trying to search for some holy grail or something like that. Yeah, see, prices trying to drive a little bit higher here. But yeah, it is what it is. Was a good read on price. It was a nice trading session. The read was quite good, but yeah, just watch how price just fell short whenever it tried a new target. It retraced lower, taking out equilibrium of the previous range or even lower. So these are not ideal conditions to be working with. Um, but yeah, it was still a good streaming and a good read on price. So yeah, guys, if you like the stream so far, just give it a like, subscribe to the channel as well. It would mean a lot, and it would eventually help my stream to get known from the trading community. And yeah, it would entice more guys to come in um and participate and share knowledge and yeah, share some ideas as well. So if you're interested, yeah, just give it a like, follow me, and yeah, and share the channel with your buddies, with your trading buddies as well. um I think that's it for this week's action. There will be tomorrow. There will be more action next Monday. Yeah, next Monday. So yeah, stay tuned and thank you very much for being here and have a nice, safe, and pleasant weekend. Thank you very much.